Your enthusiasm. I got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Use a video feed when you get time.
Greetings, welcome to another episode of Soul Talk. Lost my voice. Always the end of the year, always messing people up. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to citizens and members of the community. Today is December 15th, 2022. And today I'm joined by my co-host, GriffinGamingRPG. How are you, Griffin?
Pretty good. It's okay for you to lose your voice once in a while. No problem. How you doing?
Okay, I had that weird moment between the end of the credit to twisting the stream. I have to clear my throat. That's what happened.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us. How was your week?
It was alright. I did get into some anime, but I had a free trial in High Dive. That's an anime streaming service. But I didn't really take advantage of it because I got into a reading role. So I was reading some series called Class 5 series by Michelle Dina, and I was really enjoying it, so I didn't really get too much into anime this week. But how are things with you?
Pretty good. We're winding down our year of 2022. We were down our last week of broadcasts and stuff, so finally ready for a little break.
Yeah.
You sound like you're not ready for a break, huh? You just want to keep going?
Well, I mean, we didn't discuss this before the show, but yeah, I'm taking the next week off. I'll be traveling to see my mom and family next week, but I'll be back before New Year's. I'll be back before Thursday of the New Year, so I could come back. I could just skip a week, but yeah, I know you want to keep things consistent and everything start after January starts, so
yeah, and we all need a break. We all need a break. So yes, that's our viewers, us, everybody. So well, I mean, in the holidays,
who like on Thanksgiving, they want to keep things consistent. I don't know. I can go either way. That's me though.
I understand. Believe me, I do. Lefty says he doesn't need a break.
Right. Well, I do need one week of break, and then I should be okay. But I'm having a show tomorrow on People's Radio, so as soon as we get off the show tonight, I'll be editing like a madman.
Nice. Okay, I got you. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. One final thing. This week came out that both Janet Jackson and Luminalia are going on tour again in 2023. I may go see them, but I don't want to splurge on them because I have to save up to go to LA. And I have tax ease too.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what your ticket prices are going for. That's the big thing.
They got Jen is asking as low as $40 in Boston, but they got that VIP thing, and I'm a big Jen Jackson fan. But if it wasn't for CitizenCon, I'd be thinking about doing one of the VIP things.
Yeah, all you gotta do is eat peanut butter for a couple of months. You can afford to go. Just go ahead and buy the tickets. Only once in a lifetime time. I told you last time I was in the second row, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was great, and believe me, you don't want a $40 seat. I mean, the show is great, but you and I have been around long enough. That you want some good seats to see somebody like Janet.
As long as I can see Janet Jackson, I'm okay. Because they also have that big screen. So I mean, the last time I saw her in 2017.
Fastcart. Let me stop you. A big screen and seeing Janet, not the same. Trust me.
I know.
Row 2 or 3 and seeing Janet.
I can see. No, not row 2. That's way too expensive for me. You can do it at SC. Okay, now.
Oh, God.
Well, SC, thank you for the subscription. Oh yeah, we have notifications. I forgot about that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All right, so yeah, we'll talk more about that offline, but
yeah, cool.
I guess I don't know if we have a lot to do or just it's a medium sized too, I think. But I think we should just hop into it. So let me do my thing.
Did you want to talk a little bit about what's on the screen first, or did you want to go? Because I do want to talk about that for a second if we have time.
Let's do that first. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So you want to get into it?
Yeah, as you guys know, we want to tell you guys thank you. We put out a post yesterday thanking everybody. As you guys know, we were raising money for Jennifer Bryant, who's the daughter of Alysianah Noire, one of the content creators for Star Citizen. And as you guys know, there was a shortfall on the GoFundMe that they were trying to raise from last year. When we looked at it again this year, they were at $3,800 out of $5,000. And over the past 2 weeks, you guys came through and raised that number to, I think it was $5,087. So we reached our goal. So we want to give you guys
we have a raid from Yo-Yo Mag. It's a party of 9. Thank you, Yo-Yo
Mag. Oh, hey, thank you, Yo-Yo. Good to see you. And thank you guys for coming over. And so anyway, we reached that goal of 5,000. And last week we were supposed to do our giveaway. Many of you guys were there, and we didn't get to do it last week. I was having a rough week, and I missed out on doing the giveaway. So we want to, if those of you know about it, we want you guys to be sure to come by this Sunday. Fastcart's going to do that giveaway. So please, 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 once again, my apologies, because that was on me last week. We didn't want you guys to think we'd forgotten about you after you guys stepped up and gave the commitment that you did. So make sure you're there this Sunday for the giveaway, and we will do that then. Okay.
And not only that, if we go meet our goal, or not a stretch goal, let's call it a stretch goal of $6,000. What are we doing, Griffin?
If we reach the stretch goal of $6,000, we're going to give away another ship. We're giving away a Valkyrie this week. We're going to do a different ship on the next one, another larger or more expensive ship, I should say. So hopefully, if you guys hit 6,000, it's by the end of the month, by the end of December. We really want to try and reach that, as Fastcart called it, a stretch goal. Any monies that continue to come in during this month, whether they come through the purchase of the mugs that you see on the screen, those are our Soul Citizens quote mugs. If you guys buy those, any funds that come in through our Streamlabs store, any funds that come in through there will be contributed to that account as well. And so if you want to support through purchasing the mugs because you want some form of memorabilia from us, or if you would like to just go directly to the GoFundMe page, which Fastcart has already put there in the chat for you guys, feel free to click on that, read the story about Jennifer Bryant, and if you feel compelled to give toward that, because we really do want to make this a very special holiday for her and her family and her kids. So that's basically it.
Thank you again to Yo-Yo Bag for the raid. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Yo-Yo.
So, okay, so I'm going to do my thing, definitely get into the show. So I just want to say before I start off, as you may or may not know, one of the members of Soul Citizen is a massive hoarder when it comes to doing missions and collecting items in Star Citizen. This is in honor of him, so here we go. This is stop number 1, that old Gomat hit. As he climbed up the hall, empty bags in his vest. Then he slid down the opening. He needed no headlamp. If Santa could do it, then so could Gomat. He got stuck only once for a minute or two. Then he stuck his head out of the tube. Where the 600-eyed stocking hung all in a row, these stockings he went the first thing to go. He slithered and slunk with smells most unpleasant. Around the whole room, he took every present. He stuffed them in bags, then Gomab, very apt. He stepped all the bags one by one down the hatch. He sunk into the icebox. He took the feast. He took the pudding. He even took the roast beef. He cleaned out the icebox as quickly as a flash. While that Gomab, he even took the last can of hash.
FC, I have to say, you're the only person that can make Dr. Seuss and Charles Dickens spin in their grave simultaneously. So that was a very interesting rendition of a Christmas holiday story, but very, very nice. I'm sure Gomab feels very honored right now. I'm sure he's smiling.
He will be.
Either that or he'll curse you out later, one of the two. But it was fun. It was fun. Very cool. It took a little work there.
Yeah, it was either that or sing a Mariah Carey Christmas song. But if anyone wants to dare me to do that, go right ahead.
You hear crickets. You hear crickets, right? You hear crickets. Okay.
I'm dragging people in. Hey, everybody. Almost done. There you go. Hey, everybody. We are joined by Emma Kusanagi, face-to-face. Old Lefty. Hey, Old Lefty, you don't see you here often. Pot and Space, Rain Cloud, and you ride the smoke.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. So I'm going to ask again, does anyone want to dare me to sing Mariah Carey Christmas classic?
Yeah, go ahead. I dare you.
Well, the question is, are you going to wear Mariah Carey's outfit?
Ooh,
No.
Double challenge.
No,
I'll pay extra.
All right. So let's get started. We have this week's sneak peek. And this one is on the screen, and it says the quotation for this one is "Down in the forest, we sing a chorus." I had to look up the song because I didn't recognize it. I still don't know the song, but yeah, does anyone recognize the song?
Yeah, I found it.
No, you found it.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube.
No. What is the song?
I mean, he was walking down the street and he was saying the words that's on the screen. I didn't watch it that long.
Oh, okay. No, I meant it's called Forest by 21 Pilot.
Yeah, right. Forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to check it out.
So yeah, what does everybody think about the sneak peek, the screenshot?
Yeah, I'm like
That's some thick woods.
Yes, exactly, Ryan.
What was it?
Nice and thick.
Are you sharing with us in Discord, FC?
Can you run the video in Discord? The video's in Discord.
Oh, my bad. Okay. I didn't do that. My bad. My mistake. Here we go. Knew there's something I forgot. But yeah, now it's in Discord. So yeah, what do you think of people?
I wouldn't want to be wearing teal armor in that or anything else than, woodland green.
Camo is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, there's actual need to wear camo.
The interesting thing about this sneak peek is, I don't know if people know, but I did a circumnavigation of Microtech with Katie, 6,000 kilometers, and I've not seen a boreal sort of forest environment on Microtech this dense. So I don't know if this is an update.
This is not Microtech. This is not Microtech.
It's not.
When I first looked at it, there's no woods on Microtech
not this thick.
Well, yeah, not current. I think that this is just a sneak peek of what's coming in the future. And like Rain was saying, this is very dense, and it might not exist right now, but I'm definitely looking forward for that kind of growth on the ground. Around the derelict reclaimer, Ghost Hollow.
Yeah, that's very dense in that area.
It's about the most dense. I don't know if it even matches this though.
No, the point that I was trying to make, which thank you, Lefty, was that I don't remember seeing anything like this on Microtech, but that doesn't mean that this isn't on Microtech and we're seeing a version 2 or version 3 of a feature of a Planet Tech feature. Because I also don't know of any planets in Pyro that have boreal forested areas like this.
Let me go back and say, some of you might remember when Microtech first came out, there were dense areas of forest in it. I've talked about Calhoun Pass, how back in the day it was so surrounded by trees that you could plant a ship down there and people couldn't see it from above. They pulled it back. It only lasted for a very short period of time, and I think it had to do with performance. And then for those of you who have been to Ghost Hollow, you know that when you go in that area, the performance drops dramatically sometimes. When you're on the ship, when you're on the reclaimer, it's not bad. But as soon as you go out where all the forested area is, it gets kind of funky. And from our understanding, with the Gen 12 improvements and the PES that's coming up, there's a tremendous performance improvement that might be coming up. And so to your point, Rain and Lefty, this could very easily say that they're ready to spring, because those forests in Microtech, they should be way more dense than they are.
Yeah,
And I think that if the performance is there, we will see something like this because it has the most biomes. There's nothing in Pyro that we can know of right now that demonstrates this level of fauna from what they've shown us. So it might end up being instant and ultimate, but we'll see.
Let me point out one other thing about this, that, you know, obviously this is very dense and we're kind of keying in on that. And I think the quality of the assets is similar to what we see in Star Citizen. It's already above and beyond a lot of other games. But if you look at those trees, just look at the amount of variability in the trees. So, you know, they've shown off time and time again in their environmental videos where they try to use one rock turned this way, turn that way, you know, half of it underground this time, you know, just the top sliver of it's above ground, just so that they make use of one asset many different ways. For trees, it doesn't seem like you could quite do the same thing. But so if you look at this forest, you know, I'm not sure what sort of trickery they're using, but if this is this dense and this, you know, they're able to fit this in a game where the asset budget is a concern. I'm curious, how are they doing this and making it so variable?
Okay, so let me jump in here for a minute. I don't know if they use their own tools as far as creating this, but there is a program called SpeedTree.
Yes.
Just to throw that out there.
Yep. I've used SpeedTree. It's absolutely a wonderful tool.
SpeedTree, yes. SpeedTree, you can create different types of trees all the way from ranging for whatever you want to claim that's on this planet Earth. So from cherry blossoms to whatever.
Bonsai.
Yeah.
I would hope that Star Citizen would use something like that than to just be, again, one of those things where they're like, hey, we need to make this tool ourselves.
I mean,
whatever's quicker, though.
They can always make procedural planets, so I'm pretty sure they do have the tools. So maybe they do use like SpeedTree as a shortcut. But yeah, they do. They have procedural planets. That's in Montreal, Turbulent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see a video from CIG where they go in depth on how are they doing this. Just, you know, every now and again they put out one of those shows and just go deep dive something like that. That to a lot of people it might just seem really simple, like you're walking through the forest and you don't even really notice the trees. Then that's a good thing because they're all around you and they're so variable. If you notice them, it means they're just showing you the same tree, and you're like, yeah, my immersion's broken, right? But this looks great.
Well, they kind of talked about that when they remember when they showed the person walking in like a tall brush, and it was kind of like the grass was kind of like wavy and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Touch the grass.
Yeah, you could touch it and like it would move with you and all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay, wait till we get done.
BBG, thank you for the 500 bits. Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah,
well, I will say that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just every time I look at their procedural planet tech, I wish we had it on Kerbal 10 years ago, because we had to develop entirely new technologies and tools to get it to work in Unity for procedural planet tech creation, and even then, our planets were procedurally generated, and then we held that seed for the whole build so that everybody got the same planet regardless. And just seeing their planet tech continues to just amaze me every single year. So I just felt like tossing that out there.
I had to respond to that. I'm a Christian before I moved on. But yeah, I just want to say I can't wait to take my feeder into this and recreate a certain Star Wars scene. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Brother. Yeah. Now you just need some furry people who are about yay high, right?
Exactly.
Oh Lord.
Wait, there are furries there? What are we talking about?
Anyway, moving on. Next week we have Star Citizen Live Master Mode, and they had a very special guest with Sandy Robertson there. But let's talk about the Master Mode, the first part here, because I can go on about the second part all day almost. But yeah, so what do people think about the first part, the Master Mode? What do you have to say?
Very informative. It was a lot of good stuff in there.
I think I need to watch it again.
Talking about the difficulties that they've had with the old ways that things have been and how the failures in it, being open about that, I really appreciated that. Being open about how things have failed and like the way gaming technology is currently, there isn't a way that they could ever have succeeded with the speeds that we all fly currently. And that was good to hear. Because that's a lot of speculation that the community has always dabbled around of.
Yeah.
Like that armchair dev thing that we all do.
Yeah.
He cleared a lot of that stuff up. That was great.
Cool. Anyone else?
I think this is showing CIG's learned a lot about how to handle the community, because in the beginning, the Master Mode's discussion at CitizenCon, it didn't show a lot of detail. It didn't really dive into it. And now they've had these other talks along the way, like leading into it. And flight and the flight system in Star Citizen is a very core piece of gameplay. It touches basically everything. It is a spaceship flying game first, and then everything else that surrounds it makes it's a much larger game than that, but that's the core of the game. And
I
so the way that
but I kind of think of it as a first person simulator first, and then a space simulator second, because it is built on the Crytek, originally Crytek, even though it's Lumberyard now. So I kind of think of it as a first person thing first.
I understand the perspective.
Universe.
Right.
It's not his perspective, Lefty. It's like what Chris calls it. First person universe.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're in the seat of a spaceship and you're flying around, that going from point A to point B and how you get there is a lot of what it's what drives interaction in the game.
Well, the thing is, Disco Lando, who was in a Bar Citizen, I want to say the CitizenCon one, not the most recent one, but the CitizenCon one, the virtual Bar Citizen. He said that when you get into the game, you are controlling the pilot who controls your ship. You're not really controlling the ship itself, because you flip all the switches and you do all the things. So yes, that's what Jared Huckabee said, and yeah, I can see his point when he said that.
Yeah, and Jared's also said at one point that if the game will get to a point where there will be players that will never fly a ship. Like that's
well,
that's
he pushed back against me specifically on that at the last
true.
Bar Citizen that he was at.
You're right about that. He did.
Yeah, because he and I were having a conversation.
I remember that.
Yeah, you were there, and he pushed back and said that wouldn't, because I brought that up, and he said that wouldn't make sense. My point of view on this is I was actually disappointed. I didn't glean any information from this that was brand new information. So, and it being just the talking and not seeing even prototype footage of a dogfight while they're talking, switching back and forth, I found it quite disappointing, to be honest. I hate to be the contrarian there, but they talked about the difficulties in combat. If you fly a lot of combat like I do, you already know about the difficulties in combat. And one of Elite Dangerous's greatest strengths is its combat, is the fact that combat in Elite happens sub 1,000 meters a second. Elite has that power triangle thing that it had before Star Citizen had it, where you're switching between weapons and shields and engines, and it's actually affecting the ship. Higher engine power means more boost, means more speed, but then you have what's called the blue zone, which allows the ship to turn tighter and turn faster. And that combat in Elite's a lot of fun because you're actually dogfighting. You're not seeing a little dot that zooms past you at several thousand kilometers, and then you have to turn around and do it again over and over and over again. Jousting in this game is freaking boring. Sorry, it is. I
Yeah.
think most of us can agree with that. I like Elite's combat because of that. And hell, go look at Squadrons. Star Wars Squadrons, right? They did the same thing, switching power and low speed dogfighting.
Well, that goes back into the old school LucasArts game from the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think overall I'm happy with master modes because if we slow the combat down, that'll put an emphasis on maneuvering, an emphasis on power management, an emphasis on proper weapon shots, being more precise. But this talk I found a little disappointing because I didn't really glean any new information that we didn't already know from it.
Yeah, and that's so. If I could, that's the point I was making, though, is that's exactly what I was saying. Is that there wasn't new information. This is CIG managing the community well.
Well,
is what it is.
One thing for me is that it's well, you go ahead, Kusanagi, and
I was gonna say, you guys were so pretty much. It seems like it's just really it's easier to run away because your weapon systems aren't online. If you're running a top, was it SCM or whatever, and your chasing person's coming at SCM trying to like stop you somehow. I mean, because their system shouldn't be up and running either. Their weapon system should be offline, right? Or is that just shields?
No, it's they've changed it from QCM to nav mode. It's still the same thing, even though they're calling it nav mode. At nav mode is when you're at those speeds that we're used to, like 21 to 2200 meters a second, which is like the hard limit. Which again, people might want faster space combat, but the engine can't handle it. So like it's one of those.
But if I'm on a prospector, say max, say I'm like at 80% speed in a prospector, and I'm just trying to move out really fast. Can you fire at me with your guns, or do you have to go into a different mode?
Not if I'm in nav mode, no. I have to drop into the combat mode to be able to...
Right, yeah.
And is combat mode fast enough to catch me?
No, it won't be.
No, it won't, no.
A
If
missile
you're in nav
might.
mode, if you're in nav mode and someone else is in combat mode, they should not be able to catch you. Unless you like...
The rates of closure and extension... If you play a lot of DCS or other flight sims, the rates of closure there are different. So if you're in standard control mode, then you're sub 400 meters a second. If someone else is in nav mode, then they're upwards of 1500 to 2000 meters a second. And so the rate of relative closure there means that they're going to have to drop to a lower speed, wait for shields and weapon systems to come online, and hope to engage you, while your rate of closure is at such a speed that you'll be moving away from them fast enough that they'll have a few seconds maybe to attempt to drop out, get a missile lock, fire off a missile, but you're going to be gone anyway. And that's where...
to see what happens with the two major changes here, with what you're talking about, and then also the fact what they're doing with ballistics, the penetration rate compared to, let's just say, non-armored vessels, because I know it's going to be completely different when armor comes into the game.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting where this leads.
Well, and the other thing I think to take into consideration here too is that the master modes changes are actually going to bring even more value to electronic warfare and quantum enforcement and interdiction vessels that we've got in the game. The Mantis will probably see a renaissance. The Vanguard Sentinel is the one with the EMP, right, fastcart?
That the
Sentinel
EMP missiles. It has EMP missiles, yeah.
Well, no, it has an EMP device.
Yeah, I think the EMP device is a substitute for now.
Yes, it's supposed to be originally. It's supposed to come out with EMP missiles, the Sentinel.
Oh yeah, the Sentinel, and also the Avenger. That's the Stalker. The Avenger.
Yeah.
But the
Warlock.
The Warlock.
The Avenger Warlock. Yeah. Well, and the Cutlass Blue, right?
And
it's
the
got
Hawk.
light 3D.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there's already those things in the game already. But just to close up, I want to say it's hard for me to get excited about master mode because I realize the flight mode may change before and even after launch. So even though they're coming out with this stuff now, who knows what it'll be like, in a few years. Also, but I do have to say I don't really like the name Master Mode. No, come on, G. I just name to that.
That's a
Master
really bad
Blaster.
Master
plan. What?
Blaster. All right, so that's the first half of Star Citizen Live. Then we got to the second half, which featured Sandy Robert. As you know, she's the former.
John.
Yeah, as you know, she's the former vice president of Cloud Imperium Games. She stepped away, I want to say, 2 years ago. And
She's still on the board.
Okay, yeah, she's still on the board. Yeah, correct. Thank you. And yeah, so this is, I mean, I think the number one thing for me. Well, what do people say before I get into it?
CitizenCon.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
I'll be there. You guys better be there too.
That's the plan. I've already picked out. Oh no, I didn't pick out a hotel. I haven't booked anything. I haven't made a flight or reservation or anything. But I have my eye on a hotel to where I want to stay at in LA.
You know, it's interesting. You can see the dynamic of who is watching Star Citizen right now. If you remember back the old shows where she'd be talking and and people can remember that time and how she communicated with us. And then when she it was the same thing here. And then in chat and Twitch, you're like, this is boring. And
dude,
like, we're gonna get to something, and it's just like, yeah, come on, guys, it's cut the crap.
They were saying that in Twitch. I didn't know that.
I was so disappointed.
I did not know that.
All the kids these days.
I found myself yet again frustrated by certain sections of this community that the continued sexism directed at Sandy, that she's useless and is just a dumb actress and doesn't do anything and has no purpose, all this stuff that you see on sections of the community in Reddit and Discords and things like that is something that continues to this day to frustrate me, because we don't get that from anybody else in the company. It's always directed at Sandy. People saying, like a certain individual streamer made a comment that, all Sandy did was show up to promote her acting career. And I'm like, there was no mention as far as I remember.
That. No.
one said that?
No,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's nothing missing. If anything, she promotes her child acting career. I think she's in. Well, shoot, I forgot the name of the show.
Can I ask this?
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No. I wanted to ask this because here's the thing, though. A lot of times, like, we can Star Citizen is let's just say rather popular, or growing. Do we know that that's a part of the community, or is it that those outside sources that just want to come in and just throw that hate?
Well, when I watch big streamers do cover the video and talk about how boring and weird and strange it was, big streamers whose names that I don't feel like calling out right now, who make these comments that play the game and who are continuously salty about certain things.
Okay.
Making comments about,
right.
But I'm not mentioning any specific streamers.
I get it. The reason why I say that is because if it's the community, and if the community of those people that we know, because anybody can jump on a forum or into a stream and say something. We don't necessarily know that it is the community per se. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I question that.
Well, that's just the thing, is this game has been around in development for 10 years, and for the longest time, there was the hardcore audience that is okay with dealing with bugs and okay with dealing with 2 to 7 frames per second and okay with, living the dream, through a dream instead of living the dream through playing a game that was in front of them that they could access. And now we have in front of us still kind of a tech demo in many ways, but a game in front of us that we can play.
Yeah.
And so now you're getting all of those different people that just come in to play the game, and they stick around and see what's going on. And these are just, I think it's just your law of large numbers, basically, is you're getting people from all walks of life now instead of the core community.
Especially the last free fly, we were getting I want to say 15,000 accounts one day, and
it's ridiculous.
Star Citizen this year, fastcart Star Citizen this year cracked 150,000 peak concurrent users.
Yeah,
and unique people, 150,000 people online playing the game, and the daily average was between 30 and 50,000.
Yeah, I think I said it before on here that Chris Roberts' address at the beginning of CitizenCon, you compare those statistics to other games just on Steam, and Star Citizen is way up there in the top 10, and the other top 10 are free to play.
Right. And Free Fly, Star Citizen is free to play too. So yeah, I guess you can see why. But I just wanted to say, just to point it out to me, it didn't occur to me until Jared pointed it out. But this game has been in development for 10 years. So in 2012, a lot of people came because of Chris Roberts' name. They wanted the next wing commander, or freelancer, or privateer. It's been 10 years now, and a lot of people coming in now may not even know who Chris Roberts is. So they're coming in for word of mouth based on Star Citizen alone. So yeah, I can see why some people may get frustrated with these segments, but with people like me, especially who have been around for a while, I really love these stroll down memory lanes. So
yeah, they don't know what they don't know, and it really matters for the core audience.
And the better the game gets, the closer the Fortnite kids are going to be interested.
No Fortnite kids.
We have no
Be
patience.
So slow. Well, that's the thing.
Right,
That's the thing. No patience. Like, it takes time to do anything in Star Citizen, and they're going to be like, absolutely not. And that's a good thing, I think, because I don't want Fortnite people here. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I mean, you say that, but
I'm just saying
you know what?
They will give monies, and they will further help further development of Star Citizen.
No, you do want everybody here. You want everybody
you know
to
what?
your plan as possible.
But you do know
it's some pretty, like, the community here is different than a lot of other communities, and if you think it's bad now in Spectrum and bad now in chat with some demographics, then you kind of want to keep it under control a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a place for everybody. So the Fortnite people, what I would believe would be appealing to them would be theaters of war.
Yeah, Toe.
Or Pyro.
Yeah.
Or Pyro?
No,
I mean,
well,
go ahead.
I just want, if I can, I just want to say one thing. It annoys me every time somebody tells me this game has been in development for 10 years. So what? Some of the best games that have ever existed have been in the development for longer.
Mm-hmm.
No, but my point was,
I remember waiting specifically 10 years just for Warcraft 2.
No, but Godsend, my point was 10 years ago, people were back in the game because of Chris Roberts' name. 10 years has passed. Chris Roberts' name, it doesn't have the same impact.
Well, no. I
understood. That was my point.
I understand your point. My point is that I get tired of people who are like Sally come latelys to gaming in general, acting like 10 years in development is something new. It's like you're holding Star Citizen you're holding CIG to a standard that you don't hold EA to, you don't hold Blizzard to, on the general principle that they don't tell you when they're working on it.
Well, I get your point. I get your point because, real quick, I get your point because Sandy Roberts was on InfoRunners a bit ago, and he said even though it had technically been 10 years, they didn't really get the ball rolling until 2015. So technically, it's more like 7.
Let me jump in for real quick. Do you think, because this is something we did talk about, that I think a lot of the your rhetoric or your hatred or whatever it is, your trollings, whatever, or feelings towards the game is because it is an open development. And that's a byproduct of being an open development.
Hold on. Name a game or a project of this caliber that has ever been in open development before.
Well, the only thing I'm gonna say in there, you can't. It's like some people look at Ashes of Creation. You can't compare Ashes of Creation with Star Citizen.
I think you can.
It's like
I think you can. And the reason that you can, is because they learned from what.
My bad.
Let people finish, man. You gotta let people finish.
Go, Pops.
what I'm saying, it's like, yeah, it's all right. It's like comparing the planet Earth to the universe, with Ashes of Creation being the planet Earth and Star Citizen is a universe. It's the scale is much bigger, is what I'm talking about.
I would also say that I don't think anybody here is debating anything about the 10 years development time. And I agree with you, Godson. Like, it's not, I think it's really erroneous to say that this game has even been in 10 years of development. And I don't think anybody here is saying that that's an extraordinarily long time. I think what we were just discussing is there's a whole different audience that was watching the game 5 years ago, which was, quote unquote, 5 years into development. We all know that's, just for frame of reference. But then compared to today, 10 years into this company existing, where it's just different people coming in for different reasons with different expectations. And I think really it's just, it is unfortunate that gaming society just as a whole, just the level of trolling, I guess, it used to be there's kind of a finesse to it of what I thought trolling was, and now today it's just shitting on things.
Trolling, and now it's not really there. So
I think that's the real argument.
I think it's time to go ahead.
Before we move in, I just want to pull back a little bit. So I made that reference regarding DayZ players. Something that Griff says now and then is, like, he talks about people who they gamers play games because they that's the games out there right now, and they don't know what else to do, and that's they don't know how else to play. So I don't want to be so subjective in saying I don't want DayZ people here. I think, if they get here and they find something that they never thought was possible in a video game and didn't know they could feel and this way about something as strong as we do here, and they're cool with the direction that Chris Roberts is pushing this, then welcome aboard. But my whole thing is just like, just keep your, you have to. It's everything is patience here, and that's what this game is patience.
I've only ever worked on early access games, and it's hard. It's hard because doing it the way CIG is doing it with open development like this is a lot of resources that you're taking away from development time. If I have a dev in a studio with me for an hour, like Jared does, that's an hour that dev isn't doing work, and getting all that kind of stuff. So I want people to remember that doing open development like this is actually more difficult than just being heads down. And I mean, look at Starfield, 2 months between Starfield question videos.
And I'm going to break in here because I think I don't want to say with Bernie's topic to the ground, but I do have a whole bunch of other topics. But I just want to give one quick PSA. Like Jared said at the end of this video, don't try to book for LA yet. Don't try to book a hotel. Don't try to book a flight because they don't know when exactly the Citizen Con will be. It may be early October, it may be November for all I know, but we don't know yet. So don't keep saving money, and they'll let you know. Probably I want to say between March and June is when they normally do it. So yeah,
challenge accepted.
Don't buy your tickets yet. All right.
I just want to say my favorite part to the whole thing was this synchronized hand wave.
Yeah, I do love it. Well, that
meant a lot.
That was a throwback to Around the Verse. They used to do that all the time.
That meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure people understand. Like, I know I'm the old, but like I know that there's a part of me that's just like, yeah, I'm younger, but I'm the old man on the thing. Like, stay off my lawn and shit like that. But I'm just looking at it from like I'm studying project management. I worked in the Silicon Valley. I work for like software developers and shit like that. It's just the disregard to how these things, how games, how all of this comes together. It's just and maybe this is not even a start. Maybe this is not a star system. Maybe this is just gaming industry shit.
It's probably it's not like gaming industry, but yeah, thank you for that. But let's move on to the next segment. So this is Alpha 318 Patch Watch. We are back in town. This was released 2 days ago. So yeah, they talk about Jumptown V 2.1. They're making let's go over some of the highlights. They got a bunch of pictures in here. I do like this suit, the Moonmoy. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Ambush suit. So this is the latest outfit. Fast label Moonmoy finds its way into the verse. And people who want a better look, these are some of the screenshots that they share. And I like it. I don't know what other people think.
I hate it. It's so ugly. I hate it.
Yo.
I hate it. I'm sorry.
So, wait, hold on.
Controversial
opinion here, right?
You like
so people are saying it's ugly, but think about it. This game that we're playing, this is like just a normal person's comfortable clothes.
She's wearing a cape.
I like it.
It's a comfortable clothing set
Do you
for a
wear
person.
capes, oh Lefty?
I mean, I've been looking for one, but
there's a collar and a tie in that situation.
So get my point. So it's comfortable clothing that may be stylish in the lore environment. Would you rather this, or would you rather her be walking around in some sort of push-up bra bikini thing going on?
We could do both, but I just like to point out that even though in the future, it's funny, in the future they still haven't figured out how to give women long sleeves. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like capris on her arms.
I just want a dress and some heels and better, longer hair.
Mohawks for everyone.
So what I'm hearing is there's no such thing as fashion in the verse at the moment.
What'd you say?
But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Fashion in the verse at the moment.
I can't lie though. She does kind of look like a over-fashioned equestrian, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is luxury.
I mean, they said that this is from Microtech, from Apparelli and Microtech. I can see people on Earth, I can see people on Terra maybe wearing this, but not in other parts of the verse. But yeah.
Even if we're going there, this is at best Hurston fashion.
Hurston fashion. No, this is Orison. This is straight Orison.
Yeah, Orison. Yeah,
they got those funky shirts.
All right, so yeah, okay. I'm surprised this got so much hate. I'm not expecting.
I'm definitely getting me.
I like
these
it.
outfits.
I like it, but I play male characters, because I'm.
I think this would look better on a male character than a female character.
Well, I can see someone. Okay, going back to it one more time.
I'd wear that.
I can see someone. I can see someone like Lando Calrissian maybe.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Yeah,
Lando Calrissian vibe.
I want the male variant.
I can see Lando Calrissian maybe wearing something like that.
So, Rain, the answer is yes. I wear capes. I would.
Me too.
All right. So moving on, we have some bug fixes. I'm not going to go through each one, but basically they fixed the C8R, light, Aegis hammerhead, they shifted the 890 jump hanger, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Something that below that now, they made further iterations on the ground vehicle speed, because I think it was 317.1 or 317.0, where 317.1 I want to say.
It shows it at the top.
Oh,
they do?
0.2.3.
No, right there.
Yeah, 0.2, thank you. Yeah, you're right. So 0.2 is when they adjusted the speed. So, or 0.3 rather. But what do people think of the new speed changes again?
Well, first off, I just want to say that the first bug fix was they're going to put siren lights on the Anvil C8R, and I put a Spectrum post telling them how ticked off I was that they didn't look right. So I'm glad that they fixed it, number one. And the rest of this stuff, I think it looks okay. The ballista, I wish it went a little bit faster, maybe 27 or kept it, but that's fine. I guess we'll see how it works out.
Can I point out an overlooked item is that all those changes to the hammerhead, very specifically, the hammerhead is going to get the first iteration of resource management. So this is a lot of the groundwork and the prep work, laying out, getting the hammerhead up to gold standard so that they can put resource management in the game. I like to see that stuff.
Because just a reminder, they had that episode on ISC a few months ago. But yeah, a resource. No, that was CitizenCon.
CitizenCon, yeah.
CitizenCon, yeah. so many things happen. It's hard to keep track of what falls where sometimes. So yeah. So yeah, but that is the speed changes. I am interested in the Arena Commander improvement. So system balance, persistent enemy streaming, successfully integrated in the Arena Commander, added gray effects, white blacklist, ship and game modes have been reworked. Bleed out will now avoid the shooter. Several UI update. 3 topmost scoring. Oh, yeah, they changed the scoring basically. And image now displays of the secondary scoring event. Ballistic pickup increased 50 to 80% across all ballistic hardpoint. Item and vehicle now appear alphabetically. Oh my god, that was so annoying. It was so hard to find some stuff sometimes. Yeah, I'm glad it's alphabetically now. But yeah, basically with 318, Arena Commander and Star Marines will receive a quality of life and bug fixes following discussions and feedback from players. So that's what that's about.
I think this is really important.
That is the most whale-world.
What was that?
It's a whale-world problem.
Yeah, yeah.
We have so many ships we needed to be in alphabetical order.
Okay, I see what you mean now. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. But basically, they said the ships were not rentable in Arena Commander. Well, not now, but in 318. The Hammerhead. Well, I'm not gonna go through all, but you have your list. So a whole bunch of newer ships will be available in Arena Commander, and I think that's good. On the wrong window. The modes. They increased the limit of free flight from 8 to 24. Then, 8, it's been 8 for, Arena Commander came out in 2014, so it's been 8 years since they changed, it's always been 8, but, they kind of let Arena Commander and Star Marines fall to the wayside. Decreased player count for Last Stand from 6 to 2, removed third-person camera from elimination. Last Stand now displays player objective. Dual Battle Royale Squadron Battle has been limited to light and medium combat ship. Classic Base has had its allowed ship list expanded. Map. Oh, I love this part about map.
Pyro.
Adjusted the Skybox and Dying Star to match the upcoming Pyro system. Yes. Thank you.
Officially, 318 is bringing Pyro into the game. It's done, boys. We can go.
No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. Don't put that out there. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not what it means. But what it basically means is that they have an idea of how Pyro looks. Pyro is basically done, I think. So they're bringing the looks of Pyro from what they have, what they're going to put into the game, into Arena Commander.
So what's going to happen to how Dying Star looks now? Like, it's pretty dope how it looks now.
It is nice, but that Dying Star is meant to be Pyro.
Yeah, I think it'll look nicer. And also, Dying Star has undergone visibility patch, reducing cloud density glare. Oh, thank you for reducing the glare. The size of smoke particle effect, which leads to poor visibility and motion sickness for some players. Yay.
So, on all of this stuff, I think it's really important to see these kinds of changes because, in lore, the sim pods are supposed to be the in-game, you log in, it's the arcade simulation of all this stuff so that you can get your practice in before you go and play with your actual character, which has the actual inverse consequences of death. But aside from that, a long while ago, they took away the leaderboards. And I heard through the grapevine that the leaderboard webpage has been revamped a little bit too.
Yeah, it has been.
So
it's kind of update.
It's coming back. That is really big for the dogfighting and ship testing and dueling communities. This whole sector of the game is getting a lot more support, and I really like to see that.
So yeah, and then they have a whole bunch of bug fixes, which I won't go into. They have technical, they fixed 10 other crashes and made optimization to systems between playable area, game modes, and rental services. So yeah, that is the patch watch for 318 as of 2 days ago. And I think they've been doing it weekly, so we may get another one, next week and following week, so we'll see. Alright, so up next we have those that are costumes again. Oh yeah, this was something we're about to get into Luminalia, but this is something quick from the Star Citizen Reddit. Someone posted the Luminalia page, which we'll get into in a moment. But I would just want to highlight Xylo's post. So she said, "Hi everyone, I'd like to jump in to acknowledge some feedback We are aware that many of you were hoping to obtain the second Luminalia handle image. For that reason, I'm pleased to officially gift you all with a second handle to complete your Luminalia set. Happy holidays. And this was the link. So everyone who didn't get was disappointed that they didn't get the Luminalia, the second Luminalia handle bar from last year, you're welcome. That was from Zylo.
I guarantee you, he opened MS Paint and he like copy, flip, slap it down. Here we go.
I think
he might have.
The Carbon Tails, I think it was Q and Pigtails were talking like last year, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna frame this stupid thing, and we're just gonna put it up on our wall for spite. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, just have this thing professionally framed and put it on the wall.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't notice. You're right, Lefty, because it is basically mirrored. I didn't notice. So yeah.
Yeah, there's like no HUD. There's no nothing. It's just glorious MS Paint work.
That's funny. Welcome
See,
back,
like
Griffin.
you said, trolling, it takes some finesse, and Tyler is one of the best.
Exactly. And Jared too. And Jeremiah Lee. But yeah, so this is the Celebrate Luminalia. We covered this last week, so I don't want to just go briefly, but this is the day-by-day stuff in the calendar, the Luminalia calendar. And this is day one. Day one, you got the red, teal, blue, one light Luminalia shirt. So basically what you do is just copy the code, you scroll down, you log in. If you're not logged in, put the code in, click apply, and then it will probably go to your hangar eventually. What was that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep on going.
Is that just the shirt? Is that just the shirt, or is that the skin for the ship?
Day one is just a shirt.
Day one is just a shirt. We have 5 more days. Well, they're going to do 12 days total, remember? So yeah, this is day one. Day two, you got skins for the 100 series. You got the ice brick and Dexter Hall paint, for the holidays. And everyone who has the 100 eye, you're welcome. Everyone who doesn't have a 100 eye, you can sell the skins when the game goes live. So
can I give my one gripe? I've got very few complaints about Star Citizen, really, when it comes down to it. Giving ship paints for ships that I'm never gonna have, it rubs me the wrong way.
Well, you don't have to input the code to get them.
No, I do. My collectoritis.
You can't say you'll never have them. Because you got to remember that at some point you're going to have enough money in game to just buy it outright.
Well, sure. I'm just saying. I would much rather. I do feel like this is kind of the point, and I understand it from a funding perspective or from a level of effort. Where are we putting people perspective? But I really do. You notice most of the time I say I think. Right now I'm going to say I feel that CIG needs to get to the point where they are starting to develop their paint system and have their primary color, secondary color, tertiary accent color, and the texture that's applied, or the material rather. And you should be able to choose these paints, and then they can sell specific colors. Sure, but it should be for any ship and not just this ship I'm never gonna have.
I mean, like I said, if you don't input the code, you won't get the skin. And if you do input the code, you can sell the skin later. So to me, it's a win-win. But people in chat are saying it beats a handlebar. Do you agree with that, Lefty?
I agree that it beats a handlebar, but that's not a very high bar, unintended,
no pun intended.
to go above.
I'm not a completionist like that, so like I have like the T-shirts, but like I don't have the 100. I have a few other Origin ships. I don't have that.
It'll be worth something.
Let's go ahead and get to the rest of these. So yeah, on day 3, you had the red, teal, and blue one light Luminalia undersuit, Visit Force to reverse representing the Luminalia spirit, and I did get that. I got all of these because I'm a collector, I'm a hoarder, so I got all of these, and I do like the look of them. I'm not sure if I'm really gonna wear them, but I do like the look of them. On day 4, You have the ice break and deck the whole plank for the Avenger series as opposed to 100 series. And this is last for the day. Day 5. You get the Luminalia Sextant, and I'm not. Yeah, this one I'm like, I don't know. Why you?
It's in the game right now. I got in trouble
is.
actually on Spectrum earlier today for making a joke about it that I won't repeat here. But
okay, oh yeah, don't do that. Thank you. But yeah, so those are the 5 days that we have so far. So yeah, any other comments about the days 3, 4, and 5, basically?
I love it.
The Saxton is the dopest one.
I do love their commitment to usable things. I love their commitment to that. That's important.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping we get a Gladius skin at some point.
My bad, too. You subscribed earlier, and I didn't give you a shout out. My bad, because I'm not used to the alerts, so it scares me sometimes. But I get used to the inventory. But thank you for the 5 gift subs. So I appreciate it. Make sure everyone who got their gift subs send their thing.
Now that Sextant has what is that? Is that band new on the side?
Oh, is it?
I think the bottom half is Banu, yeah.
Well, the top is like where the circle is, where you kind of see the.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The bottom half of
English,
the top
that's
circle.
English and bottom. Yeah, the bottom half is Banu, I believe, but the top half is English. But yeah,
is it
you're
English?
right.
More alien stuff in my hangar.
Forgot about that. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, here's a question for you all. Hold on. So what are y'all guesses that some of the future Luminalia gifts may be like for this year? Because we still have 7 days left. So what do you think that they're going to give?
Ain't.
Hey,
not a Gladius skin.
They might finish out the that spacesuit thing, like the undersuit. They might have a helmet that goes with it. I know this, and then if there's not already, and then maybe some light armor. That would be nice to do that.
That would be nice.
Danger Hobo said 890J jump skin. You never know. Yeah, anyone else have guesses before I give mine?
I mean, I'd like to see at least one gun so I can ironically kill aliens with it.
It'll be a Nerf gun if anything.
Griff, what do you think?
I know Lefty will jump out the window when I say this, but since Luminalia is based around the Banu, I would want to see items that are Banu themed a little bit more. And particularly, those of us who remember when hangars were working, we were all fanatics about putting stuff up in our hangars. So I would really like to see items that we can use for our living spaces in the future. Or put on our ships and our captain's quarters, things like that. Weapons and armor are great, don't get me wrong. We get that stuff. But I would love to see things that are much more themed around both the celebration, but also lead into lore, lead into maybe things that later on in the game, like the Banu Cube, for example, maybe there's some meaningful use for it later that we don't know about right now. And then decorative items, but the whole theme of Luminalia for me is about the relationship between the humans and Banu. So I would really want to see more things that are oriented around that.
I'm not gonna jump up and down about that. I totally agree, and I really think that we need other things to put at the other end of the gun range.
I also,
oh my god!
If I can roll in here too, I also think that 2950 was like our actual first game event of Luminalia. 2951, of course, was when we had the badge and the wallpaper and all of that. And this one is, of course, the third actual full Luminalia event where they committed to giving us stuff that's usable in game. I think they're going to learn from this, and next year is going to be even better. I really do, because I remember us giving all that feedback to Xylo, and Xylo saying that we were all spot on and that he was going to strive to make Luminalia this year something that was 12 days of actual usable in-game gifts. And they've proven to that. They listened. They're working. So I think, to your point, Griff, I agree with you 100%. But I also think maybe let's wait and see what comes next year, because I think, this is only the third Luminalia that we've had, and this one is the only one where we've had that commitment to fully usable items in game. I think next year's Luminalia, we might see more of that. We might see more Banu-oriented objects and things like that coming in. Because I think if they do this now, if they've committed to this daily in-game usable for Luminalia, they can't go back on that next year, right?
Well,
they kind of have to.
I think
they shouldn't. Absolutely.
I think that brings up a valid criticism. It's just like we're getting all this progress as far as the gameplay, the ships, the gameplay loops and things like that. But there's an entire, going back to the universe idea, like there's a lot of universe to still be built out. You only see human NPCs. This is like, there are things that could be brought in that we should probably at this point be on the lookout for.
Speaking of next year, this is what I had wrote down, but you got me thinking. But next year, I'm hoping for a banner measurement scan. That's what I'm hoping for next year.
I would love to show up on a rest station and just run into a Banu for no reason.
Right.
Just be like, why is there a Banu standing on the table?
In a T-pose on the table, eating his like noodles or something.
Right. But for this year, since we got some shirts and some undersuits, like the red teal and blue one night undersuits and stuff like that, I'm expecting maybe pants to match the shirt, and I'm expecting armor to match the undersuit. But I'm more leaning towards that we'll probably get the armor more than pants. I'm definitely expecting armor to match the undersuit for this year. Okay. All right. So after that, we have a word from our sponsor. This is the Noire piece that came out a couple of days ago, and it's called Either Block. Well, we have numbers. Oh, the date 12/13/1952. So yeah. So word from our sponsor that goes into adverts and stuff like that. I haven't had a chance. Did anyone read this? Nope.
No.
Okay. All right. So, but
it's on my list. I'm going to read it for sure.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. So thank you for putting the link in. But yeah, word from our sponsors. That's the in-law piece this year and this week. All right. So after that, we have ISC, and this is 12 minutes long. I watched the whole thing. I don't think there's a breaking point in the middle, so I'm just gonna go through the whole thing and we'll talk about it at the end. All right, so grab your drink, grab your snack. What were we going to say?
My body is ready.
Your body's ready, okay. All right, so here we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Star Citizen. I'm Jared Huckabee, and this is it. It's the end of the year. The much-anticipated Alpha 3.18 is being hammered away on by developers and citizen testers alike, and it's that time where we look back and reflect on many of the more memorable events and additions to the Star Citizen experience in a special episode we like to call the Star Citizen Year in Review 2022. Because sometimes you just call a thing what it is. Let's get to it. We'll start things off with some of the big ticket feature items, and perhaps none were bigger than the server cap increase, which saw the persistent universe population increase from 50 to 100, paving the way for things like Siege of Orison, changing the dynamic for events like Jumptown, and as you can see here, the collective re-entry of 100 simultaneous spacecraft, and the loudest I've ever heard the VFX team giggle. And let me tell you, they're gigglers. Player refueling also made its debut in 2022, enabling the peer-to-peer profession that allows for a new way to help your fellow citizens and make a buck along the way, an important step ahead for the upcoming inclusion of the Pyro system, where gas stations will be few and far between in the wide open and desolate wastes, where anarchy reigns and everyone must fend for themselves. It's basically Los Angeles on Black Friday. In addition to refueling, the arrival of mining gadgets brought another refinement to that profession, providing new and improved means for making your fortunes out in the verse, and then coming back to liquidate that and almost everything else with the new selling mechanic, allowing players to finally clear out much of what filled their inventories for profit. Why can you make so much money in video games and not in real life? That's my mom asking, not me. There were also plenty of new places to visit and have adventures, including a variety of new derelict spacecraft, both floating in space and crashed down on the surface of Stanton's planets and moons. These derelicts not only add to the visual texture and history of the persistent universe, they provide numerous opportunities for mission and loot gameplay as more and more continue to be added throughout this last year and the next. And the same can also be said for derelict outposts and rivers, which began with a single estuary on Microtech and continued to develop throughout the year into a watershed release included in the upcoming Alpha 3.18. But for me, the highlight of River Tech has been the ascendance of Will Hain to River Guy in the YouTube comments. More hospitals were added to the persistent universe in 22, as important an aspect as any for those of us who spend most of our time waking up in medical beds rather than exploring the universe. It's not that I'm bad, it's just that everyone else is better. Especially at racing, in the first of several community-initiated in-universe racetracks such as the Snake Pit, which began with the XGR racing community exploding in popularity this year and an exciting initiative within development to canonize creations from the players into the persistent universe proper that will continue in the upcoming Alpha 3.18 and beyond. And speaking of the community, much of what made Star Citizen's 2022 special was created by the community itself, including recurring events like Fight or Flight, the largest 2v2 PvP dogfighting tournament in the verse, the Hurston Hurt Locker, a battle royal event on Magda that features lots of mayhem and death where almost anything goes and precious few survive, and the classic Daymar Rally, a canonized staple that kicks off each year with a 500-kilometer race with multiple divisions and loads of ground vehicle shenanigans. And in addition to competitive events, the role-playing scene in Star Citizen continued to evolve and take notice within both the community and development teams as players utilize tools within the game to report the news, create exciting narratives, and simply bring an increased sense of immersion to life in the persistent universe. And out of universe, the Bar Citizen World Tour kicked off as CIG staff traveled to cities, states, provinces, and countries around the world to break bread and tell tales with players from all walks of life. It's been a terrific return to form and a chance for players and developers to connect that will continue throughout 2023, so be sure to keep an eye on the website and socials for details and let us know when events are happening in your area. Other notable events were the Battle of the Bricks, where the Star Citizen and EVE Online community teams came together for charity in a battle of building blocks, trivia, weird challenges, and whatever a wolffish is. It's terrible. Terrible is what wolffish is. And then this year's CitizenCon kicked off with the official Journey to 4.0 initiative, with presentations from developers on exciting new gameplay systems like resource management, master modes, and investigations. The return of Chris Roberts to peel the curtain back on Squadron 42 developments that will benefit the persistent universe in the future, and we debuted the only constant, the spacecraft where ISC, SCL, and more will emanate from for the foreseeable future. And it still has a few tricks up its sleeve we hope to show you in 2023 and beyond. But back in the verse, while the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and Invictus continue to be highlights of the year, the biggest dynamic event in Star Citizen's history happened with the Siege of Orizon, where the vicious Ninetales took control of the floating platforms surrounding Orizon and waged a multi-stage battle against players in a first-of-its-kind mixture of Star Citizen's FPS gameplay systems and impetus for numerous technological improvements to the entire game as a whole, including the server cap increase we talked about before. And this year's Ship Showdown was a chance for community members to showcase their creativity in pushing their favorite ships and vehicles into contention to be named Best in Show at this year's IAE. And you can see some of that creativity here, and here, and here. Definitely a highlight of each and every year. And speaking about ships and vehicles, let's do a rundown of all the new ones that made their way flyable and drivable in 2022, including the Hull A, Hoverquad, Mule, Centurion, STV, Scorpius, Corsair, Cutter, and C8R Pisces. And that brings us to now, and the impending release of Alpha 3.18, which will add a whole lot more to this 2022 of Star Citizen highlights, including hole-stripping salvage gameplay. Yes, you and your trusty multi-tool, reclaimer, or brand new vulture have a new means to make your fortunes by finding and processing the remnants of space junk in the verse. This applies not only to destroyed player ships, but NPC hulks spawned throughout the Stanton system for you to discover and dismantle. The cargo refactor is here. The cargo refactor is here. Alpha 3.18 also brings with it the first iteration of the cargo refactor that will physicalize much of what we carry in our cargo holds and open up new avenues for cargo reclamation after disaster and potential piracy for the disaster causers of us out there. I'm looking at Tom. There's also the new PTV racetrack in Orison that aims to provide a new recreational activity for those looking for the low-stakes challenge of buggy competitions, or for the players that go out there and create emergent opportunities that I have no doubt none of us are prepared for. Can't wait to see what you do here. And the revitalization of Korea and the addition of additional sandbox prison activities, two components of an overall overhaul to the crime stat system that will be more lenient on what sends you to prison while providing new opportunities to remove crime stat before going and after escaping. 6 new persistent universe racetracks based on community creations that will bring players to several of the lesser traveled areas of the Stanton system and allow them to test their mettle against others, with new gateway and timer functionality being added alongside them. New Orison missions that run on the surrounding platforms when Siege of Orison is resting from all the mayhem. New Sand Cave archetypes in the Daymar crash site introduce the brand new Mercury and 600i derelicts being added to the persistent universe. And 2 new exciting technological advancements this year with the implementation of the Gen 12 renderer and persistent entity streaming, which both convert the current persistent universe to new graphical and technological foundations that serve as the new basis for persistent universe's continued development, as well as set the stage for Star Citizen to realize its fullest potential in the years to come through server meshing, increased player and resource caps, and the addition of new star systems like Pyro, Nyx, and beyond. And going on right now is Luminalia, where players can log in each and every day to redeem a variety of in-game gifts, including holiday sweaters, undersuits, new paints for the 100i, Avenger, and more. Remember, it is 12 days, folks. And a sextant that Ben Curtis has really wanted to get in there for a while. I mean, it's cool. So, what did we learn this year? Well, I'd say a whole heck of a lot. But at the core of it all, to me, this year seemed to be about celebrating and renewing that connection between player and developer that's been at the heart of this project since it first launched in 2012. It's been said often, and probably by folks much better than myself, but it bears repeating over and over and over again that none of this happens without your continued involvement, whether that's playing the game, discussing on Spectrum, reporting on the Issue Council, supporting through pledging, encouraging through Bar Citizens, creating and streaming through social media and contests and the like, or simply allowing us into your lives most weeks while we share the who we are and what we do with you through ISC and SCL and the like. It's kind of ridiculous that I get to stand here on a spaceship and represent the work of over 800 strong with you, from game directors to QA testers, from major features like salvage and cargo, down to little internal tools like asset validators, and I can hardly wait to see what 2023 has in store for us. This journey we're on can be exciting, rewarding, educational, consuming, and if we're being honest, a little frustrating at times. But there isn't another one remotely like it in the entire game industry, with so many dedicated to bringing this universe of possibility to life. So, for one last time in 2022, for Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Happy holidays, be safe, and we'll see you all here next year.
And we're back. So yes, that is Inside Star Citizen, the last one for the year. So let's go free fall. What do people think? Before I give, but I just want to say, bless Jared Huckabee's heart at the end. He was getting all choked up. I just wanted to say that before anyone else. But yeah, what do people think?
Well, I just want to second on that and say happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Well, let me direct this and answer a question. So, what are your favorite highlights for the year? And try to give me only 2 or 3 if they're short, but preferably 2. So, yeah, what are your favorite highlights?
Mine, if I can speak, I enjoyed seeing how they highlighted community people, Oliver's art, the racing tracks and things like that, because these were things that were player involved. We talk about the devs and how they shape the game, but you can see the players in that sense shaping the game and with their own creativity. So a lot of people asking, we were talking earlier about people playing this game at this particular point and why, and you see one of the benefits of doing that right here, right now, being a part of the development.
I'll add on that for one of my things is just, this is the first year, obviously been playing for a while, but this is the first year where I feel like just about anybody can come into this game and play it, and I've had a hell of a good time just playing this entire year with the communities that I've been in. I've jumped around a little bit between a couple different communities, and every time I'm having a good time playing this game, and it's running smoothly for me. I do kind of have like a god tier rig to run it on now, but it's running really well for me, and I'm really thankful for that.
Cool. Anyone else? Highlight? Go ahead.
I see. For me, it's been a mixed year because I took a break in April and didn't play the game until I'd say November, and just being back for the last few months, I've been seeing so much incredible negativity in a lot of places like Spectrum and Reddit and YouTube comments and Twitter comments and stuff. Like if you look at at the YouTube comments for ISC, half the comments are, still it's a lie, it's a scam, CIG is stupid, trying to save face, and it's getting to a point where it's very difficult to try to phase that stuff out when you've been with the project this long. But I finally did get back into playing the game, and I've been playing pretty actively since IAE, hanging out with the Skunkworks and with a couple other different groups, and it's been really good to just play the game and try and ignore all that negativity. And this ISC was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And my favorite features, I think selling. I think actually being able to get loot and sell loot was one of my favorite features.
Cool. Anyone else? Before I get mine, Griffin? Highlights for the year?
I was trying to wait on everybody else. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, there's so much.
Yeah, my highlights is the fact that I love when they do these annual reviews, because it's very easy. You hear a lot of stuff from the community of, like one of the arguments I heard was there were only 2 patches this year. And I'm trying to figure out, when did we start gauging stuff based on patches versus content, and work that's being completed. And it kind of pains me to a certain degree, because it's like how easily we forget how buggy and stuff was back in the day. A lot of the people who are coming on board within the last year, they don't see all the stuff that we saw. They see a game that is finally moving into a place that's like, I heard about this game, Star Citizen. I was hesitant to sign up for it, or I thought it was a scam, but I'm finding out that I'm starting to see what these guys are trying to do. I mean, there's a lot of positivity that's starting to shift, the direction of the ship now. And like Rain was saying, it is a little frustrating when you still see the same old arguments on Spectrum and the same old complaining. And, like if I have one more person to ask me, when does 3.18 come out? I just want to jump out the window. It's like, guys, we go through this all the time. It's like, I know we anticipated, I know we're all looking forward to it, but
they do that but yeah,
if it's not ready, Lefty will tell you about this. A few years ago, when the patch came out and it wasn't ready over the holidays, people went crazy when all the bugs they couldn't play it. So it's like, come on, guys, you've been around long enough to know that it'll come out when it's ready. And you also have a great picture or peek inside of all the stuff that's going to be in 3.18. Jared named all this great stuff that's happened over the last year, and we're getting, I know it's, it's almost cliche to say we're getting closer and closer, but we are getting closer and closer. 4.0 is inevitable within the next year. And so, we've all been anticipating that. Pyro is coming up. We're anticipating that. We know Gen 12 is in now. We know that PES is in. We've seen all the stuff confirmed for 3.18. Nothing got pulled out for 3.18. Normally something gets dumped. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the progress that they're making. I'm happy to see CIG's building a new headquarters, which says that they're expanding. There was a lot of questions about it. People wondered, hey, maybe this is too much too quick. You guys are building this big building and talking about 1,500 employees. But evidently, they know what they're doing. And so far, even in light of the market, in light of inflation, in light of COVID, this thing is still moving forward. So for me, I'm happy.
Can I say my second thing on that? So
hold on till somebody else. Make sure everybody else say something before you say a second thing. Is everybody else done?
I'll say this.
This is your third thing, actually. So I'll make sure everybody else got something here.
I'll jump in and say though, Griff, to piggyback off what you said, though, it's kind of like the mentality of I want a golden goose daddy and I want it now.
Well, that's always been the thing. I guess what I'm saying, Fist, is I'm just kind of folks who've been around long enough need to settle down with that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I appreciate anticipation. Everybody's excited about it. Everybody wants to do it. We're going into the holidays. People are going to be off work. They got time to play. Very cool.
Right.
But like the brain said, don't take it to the point where it's a negativity thing, where there's doubt about, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, why spoil it for yourself? It's going to be good. When it comes out, everybody's going to be in the game and we're going to be playing and having fun,
I'm going to get two quick responses because Miffy Bob had an important question for you, Griffin. So, wait, when is 3.18 coming out?
Oh, I was going to do that.
Is there a 3.18, Smithy? I didn't even know there was a patch coming out.
And the other thing is, I'm surprised that they didn't mention the new buildings in this IST because that's something that it's indirectly related to the development of the game, but I'm surprised that they didn't say anything. But Lefty, you go ahead and then I'll do mine.
Well, so we just talked a lot, that basically this whole show about the community within the game, and I think that it's very important to know the significant section of this video and our own experiences of just being back to having bar citizens in person, and that I don't think you can really emphasize that enough, and how much it means to the Star Citizen community. Dorian, Skyfire, and I kind of threw together with some help from others just a real bar citizen in Tacoma, Washington, the Pacific Northwest Regional. We had 244 people at peak at that bar citizen. That was this year. It feels almost surreal that was this year, but that happened. And then as soon as I come back to Tri-Cities, where I'm at in Washington, I threw together a bar citizen here. And I managed to get, 6 or 7 different people there that I'd never met more than half of them before. A couple of them, one of them was my work buddy I drug out, made him buy a copy of the game in the first place. But the in-person aspect of Star Citizen is back, and it's going to continue, and I better see every single one of you in LA.
That's a plan. Yeah, for mine, I totally forgot about mining gadgets. I mean, I don't mine in Star Citizen yet, but I was a heavy miner in E, so I'm looking forward to mining in game. But yeah, totally forgot about the mining gadget, and they reminded me of it just goes to show that a lot of stuff, just like Griff said, a lot of stuff happened this year that you forget, especially at the beginning of the year. But they reminded me of Battle of the Bricks and the Wolfist. That was a heck of a stream, and for anyone who hasn't watched that, go back and watch it after this show. That was a heck of a stream. It was entertaining if you're into that. But yeah, Battle of the Bricks, I thought that was pretty good, and quite a few ships were released. It didn't seem like that many until you got the list all together. There were 9 ships released this year. So yeah, that's quite a bit. And finally, people talk about the community. I want to thank Griffin for helping host the virtual bosses this year. We did one for Invictus and one for IAE and one for CitizenCon.
Yeah, those were awesome.
Those were fun. So those are a few of the highlights for me. So thank you all. Okay.
Yeah, I love that X-Wing.
The Scorpius.
Yeah, now I'm just having these, daydream fantasies of crash landing on Oso once they get that in the game. Crash landing my Scorpius in the swamps of Oso, and instead of becoming a pupil of whatever space alien jumps out, probably going to shoot it and then eat it because I hear the Osoians are tasty, but I digress.
All right, thank you. All right, so up next we have, the Machinima. This is, I'm not going to get into the production stuff, but yeah, this is Star Citizen Machinima Ava IRL Part 4. We did the Part 1, 2, 3, I think it was last week or the week before. And this is called Liquid Therapy. This is from EE Studio. So yeah, this is a continuation of Ava IRL. So let's get into it. This is 7 minutes.
I will tell you, after playing the villain in Overclocked, I had a hard time securing financing for my non-profit.
St. Francis, the most misunderstood humanitarian in the verse. What's your pitch?
I am raising funds to help orphans find families. Inspired by your own story, no less, my dear. In fact, I was wondering if you'd like to be our main spokesperson.
Let the warm and fuzzies just thinking about it. I'm in.
I am forever in your debt, my dear Stava.
Nah, dude. I just rigged my new Corsair with ballistics. If you owe me something, you'll know.
With all of my respect. Have you considered therapy, my dear?
Whiskey Cola works just fine. How's it hanging, Zark?
No comment. Sorry to bother, but we're gonna run some press on Overclocked, and I wanted to clarify a few things.
I'll do my best. A little fuzzy at the moment.
Wonderful. So, were you enlisted in the UEE Army and then you went officer?
4 years enlisted infantry. Then OCS for 6 more years as a spec ops officer.
Great. And what inspired you to become an actress?
I'm not. They just wanted me to be myself in the show.
I see. And your backstory as a Lorville orphan? It's all true?
Unfortunately.
Great. This helps a ton. Thanks, Ava.
Peace out, Zarky.
Therapy is totally normal. No need to be ashamed.
Good to know.
You know, you're my first celebrity client. I must be doing something right.
Nah, I'm just a Loreville kid. But thanks for the support.
I'll be honest, I've never actually seen any of your work. Heard good things about Overclocked, but I'm just too darn busy these days. I also own a Garcia's Greens down at the Commons. Your file said you're a heavy drinker?
Well...
Oh, because I can give you some coupons. Our smoothies are the best for hangovers.
Okay.
So tell me, what brings you in today?
Well, I guess I just kind of feel empty inside. Had a rough childhood. Foster dad saved the day, but maybe it was too late. Military brought out the best of me.
Oh, sorry, please continue.
But also kind of fucked me up more in some ways. I know I have a lot to be grateful for, so why can't I just be more grateful? Why do I feel so shitty?
I know exactly why. You need one of our new jumping lime smoothies, and lucky you, they're buy one get one free.
Welcome to Garcia's Greens. How may I help you, sir or ma'am?
Could I just get a jumping lime smoothie?
Perfect. Would you like to add a booster to that? Protein plus, mustard medley.
Mustard?
Yep, it's a mix of mustard, mayonnaise, and egg whites. It's fucking disgusting.
No thanks. I've got a coupon though.
Sorry, we don't take coupons at this location.
It's from the owner.
That prick hasn't paid me in 3 weeks, so you can fuck all the way off with that. Your total comes to 5 UEC. It's been my pleasure to serve you.
Gonna be alright, Ava. One step at a time.
And we're back. Trying to find the right tab. Thank you. So free fall again. What do people think? Thoughts?
Well, as a disabled veteran with a lot of PTSD, I'm gonna go get a drink, because that's how that video made me feel.
Alright, yeah, let us know when you're back.
I love that special snowman. I've taken pictures of it myself, and it just makes me smile every time when I see it.
Any other thoughts? Or UI?
It was really good. A lot of character development. Yeah, nice chill moments to like bond with the character. It's nice to not have everything be straight action.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it. You know, it's a very good storyline. As always, EE and Zart, you know, top-notch quality. Appreciate it.
Yeah, they've come a long way. I think I said this before when we watched the 21-minute video or whatever it was. Yeah, they just continue to improve at the top-notch quality.
And not just Jock and EE, but the actress for Ava, she's doing a bang-up job too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made it very relatable, I guess you could say. There's a There's a level of excellence there.
Yeah, one thing that the video was loud for me, even though I'm pretty sure I made it the same volume as everything else. So, but other than that, the sound design on this series, or especially this video, was great. This is definitely a series you want to watch with headphones, in my opinion. And we have a couple of audio people in here. What do you think about the sound design?
Yeah, man, they always do good work. You know.
One of the things that made me is it Ava or Eva? Ava. It, watching these things, it always makes you think of what is she thinking? Because I mean, she goes through these things where she's sitting alone, and it's like you just really wonder what are her thoughts.
Yeah, I really liked the sound design, cinematography. I think Lefty said something that was going through my head. I remember when EE first started putting these out. Very big, ambitious, but they were just getting started, and now you can see I don't know who they've partnered with or whether they just went and studied some more, but the level of their work now is really, really good. I was impressed with just why, and I'm not a big Corsair fan, but that passing of the Corsair over Microtech when it was coming in looked great. They picked the right shots. And they work around things that those of us from the game know. Like, for example, when she was having her therapy session in the lobby of the Nest, and I was like, okay, I'm curious to see how they were able to do that with nobody running behind them or walking behind them or coming off an elevator. They use the spaces very well. They're familiar spaces, but at the same time, they become different based upon their story, which I like. So, like this shot here with the Corsair flying in was just really, really nice. So, I think they've just gotten better and better.
That's one thing that
real quick, Ginger Prince 85, they can put a follow. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just to emphasize on that, they used all sorts of places that we are all familiar with by playing this game and made them seem completely different in the tone of the story. That's the level of excellence there.
Can I just say, this guy, that yawn he did during this session,
yeah,
that was so bad. And the scene after this, when she went to claim a coupon, she really did tell her what she can do with that coupon. Didn't she? Yeah.
What about the crazy guy at the bar? What about the crazy guy at the bar?
Yeah, we're about to see him. I'll skip ahead. That was good. I was like, what the heck was that? There it is.
It's real though. That's like what's going on right now in the verse. That the AI are doing that so much. It's so funny. It's context.
It was good. They used it though. They put it to use. I mean, they put it to use in the story, which was great.
Yeah. And that other AI looking up at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this thing right here, that was funny. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I thought you get fastcart.
No, I finished.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and Ava can probably sleep through almost anything.
Well, especially when she's drunk,
and all that yelling and hollering.
I'm pretty sure she was drunk, and I haven't woken up yet. Yeah. All right, so yeah, that was Ava in Real Life Part 4 of Liquid Therapy from EE Studios. So it starts in cinema. All right, so I think that's it for that. That was pretty funny. I'm looking forward to more. Up next we have, we're doing a content, well, you would say we or you, Griffin. So Citizens or you?
What?
For the Content Creators Summit.
If you want me to talk about it, you can talk about it. I don't care.
No. Is it a sole citizen event or something that you want to say?
I don't do nothing solo. That's a sole citizen sponsored event.
But yeah, you can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. We are. No, I didn't. No, I'm over here editing, so I'm sorry I didn't have the screen up.
Okay, sorry.
We're sponsoring. This is going to be like the first time I think that something like this has been done. We're sponsoring what we call the Content Creators Summit, and I partially I'm announcing it because I want you to pass it on to content creators that you guys may know about. It is exclusively for content creators of Star Citizen. We're going to be doing this on January the 14th. It's going to be an online event that we're going to do, and it's a 3-hour event. It'll be January 14th starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And so we are sending out open invitations to content creators, whether they're on Twitch, whether they're on YouTube. There's a registration for it. We'll have the link in there for you. You guys can forward that to folks. If there's a certain content creator that you like, that you're familiar with, and you want to let them know about it, because we can't reach everybody. You know, we put stuff out there on Twitter and stuff, but everybody's not following us on Twitter, so they wouldn't know about it. And we do want content creators to be able to come to this, whether they have just gotten started or whether they've been doing content for several years. It's open to content creators. We will be verifying you, so don't come in saying you're a content creator, because we're going to check and see if you're a content creator, because we really do want the conversation to be amongst them. And we are going to be live streaming it as well, so you will be able to watch it and see what's going on with it. And we'll give more details about that later, but that's going to be on January 14th. So we got about a month, but we're starting the registration now for folks that want to register for it, for the event. Okay.
And I just asked Amicus not to post the Spectrum link. So if you know a content creator and you want to let them know, go ahead and give them that link. That'll give them more information. So,
yep.
Thank you.
All the info's there and everything. That's a good one. The Spectrum link is the best one to use. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So up next, looking forward to that, January 14th. After that, we have. Yes, let me see what we're up to right now before we get into that. Griffin, are you prepared to talk about it, or you need a break real quick?
Talk about what?
The mugs.
You can talk about them. Yeah, I talked about them at the beginning. You talk about them now.
All right. So, yes. It looks like nothing went up so far, but yeah. So we're doing a fundraiser for the month of December. During this summer, we would like to raise money again in awareness for the daughter of Star Citizen backer Alysianah Noire, who suffered with a rare illness over the past year. Basically, this fundraiser started last year, but then we didn't achieve their goal. Thanks to everyone who past week they did achieve their goal, but we want to give them a bit more because it's the holidays and it's been a year since the fundraiser started, so they probably have an increase in cost, and we want to help them with that before the end of the year. So if you go to the link, Chris and I hopefully will put in. If you go to our merchandise page, everything for the month of December will go to the GoFundMe. But if you just want to skip that and go directly to the GoFundMe, you can go to the link there too. So hopefully Chris and I will put those in, and that's for December. And yes, if you like, want to show support for Solar Citizen, you can buy a mug. We have what's that? 11 different mugs. And Griffin, you got to put one with your quote in there someday. You got to put one in there about yourself. But yeah,
I don't have any quotes. Peace, love, and soul. I don't have any quotes. Nothing else to
say. We'll work on it. But yeah, so yeah, appreciate the support of everyone who's been active in that so far. All right. So after that, we have. Just going to put this, talk about it because we are part of Podcast Saturday, even though we're not doing any more show voices until January 7th. But, every Saturday we typically do show voices. We're having a hiatus until December, but you can still check in with Paul, the Expo at 6 p.m. and Relay at 9 p.m. Eastern for Podcast Saturday. And after that, we have our next show. XSplit doesn't like it when I try to twist screen too quickly. But yes, our next show is Holiday Wishes. That'll be Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. And that basically we'll talk about our holiday wishes for the coming year. And should be a good show. It's the last show of the year. Again, we'll be off until the 8th for Soul Citizen. It should be fun. I also want to give a quick shout out. Flight to Rhythm will be on the People Radio tomorrow at 2100 UTC. I still got to finish the show, obviously, but it should be good. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm glad I wrote it down. But someone did dare me at the beginning of the show. So here we go.
Don't do it. Stand back. Don't do it. Okay.
I heard it too.
Yeah, and Pops, I'm going to beat you into the middle next week because I told you about daring fastcart to do stuff. Okay, I do want to mention this. Earlier at the beginning of the show, we mentioned to you guys that we were raising money for Jennifer Bryant, as fastcart mentioned. We do want to tell you all, thank you so much. We did reach the goal of $5,000. We went over it, in fact, $5,087, if I'm not mistaken. But we are still raising money throughout the month of December for that. So we are asking that if you would like to continue to give, please do. We want to make it a special holiday for her and her family. There was something else I want to say about that.
Giveaway?
Raising the money. Oh, the giveaway. Thank you. As you guys know, last week when we reached the goal, we were supposed to do a giveaway. We didn't get to do it. If you were here last week, make sure you're here this Sunday. Please come back this Sunday. We will be doing the giveaway this Sunday. And that was my mistake last week. We just got overwhelmed doing a lot of stuff, and we wanted to make sure that we follow up on what we said for that $5,000 goal. So thank you guys again for that support. And Alysianah also sends her thank yous as well. She said they got up that morning and saw it and just went into shock when they saw that you guys had pulled it off. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Victor Face, Godsend, Old Lefty, Potton Face, Rain Cloud, You Ride a Smoke, and my co-host Griffin Gaming. I thank everyone for watching on Twitch, YouTube, and hopefully Facebook. I don't know if Facebook's been off. We'll find out later about that. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media. We're a social citizens for the SNN everywhere. You can buy our merch. Everything in the month of December is going toward the GoFundMe. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, or follow, depending on your platform. And all I want for Christmas is you. Thank you. Peace, love, and soul. We're going to raid Afterpub. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
What a day.